Are you feeling drained by your adult child's disrespect? I'm hearing this more and more. And it's time to take control of that because we need to learn how to control the conversation and restore the respect without drama. And so in this video today, I want to share some practical ideas how to calm the chaos, give you back your peace, which will in turn start to heal the relationship one respectful conversation at a time. I have several points today I just want to share with you, no particular order. Number one is stay calm and composed. Reacting with anger or frustration only fuels the conflict in any conversation with anyone. So what I want to encourage you to do instead is to focus on keeping your composure, taking a step back before you respond, and also take that pause to collect your thoughts. Be more intentional, because that allows you to respond more thoughtfully rather being super impulsive, because we don't want to react. Next is communicate openly. What does that mean? Well, when we can have clear, open communication, keep in mind you're only addressing your side of the equation because you can't control someone else. But that's where the I statements come in. If you were to say, I feel disrespected when blank. When you speak to me this way, it feels very disrespectful. You expressing to them how their actions are affecting you without coming across as accusatory. Nobody can judge you for your feelings. They can try, but it's not realistic. We want to encourage that two-way conversation where both of you can express thoughts without feeling, like they're getting blamed or getting defensive. That's the goal. Next is setting personal limits. So without personal limits, or boundaries as you may call them, the disrespect becomes a habit. And so I want you to clearly state what behaviors you won't tolerate and what the consequences will be if they continue. So for you, the mom that is dealing with this disrespect, you could say something like, I will not engage in conversations where I'm being insulted. And if that happens, I'll have to step away. But you have to follow through on these limits. We want to make sure that they're respected, because when we make these false claims and don't follow through, it just adds to more disrespect. So if you are that mom that is ready for that next step in taking care of yourself, because this is probably the most difficult time that you've ever experienced in your life. I know it was for me. If you're looking for a lifeline and you're committed to finding some peace and support, then I want you to book a discovery call with me. The link is in the pinned comment as well as in the description. This is where it's a 30-minute consultation. It's not a coaching call, but it's an opportunity for me to learn more about what's going on, how it's affecting you, and then I can share how I can help. And so the next one is seeking to understand, which is really hard because a lot of times we do have to remember that disrespect comes from deeper issues. So even though it's coming up now, it's usually from deeper issues. But when we ask open-ended questions to better understand the root of the behavior, that sometimes can uncover some past hurts or frustrations or things like that when they're willing to share. But just showing that you're willing to listen can lead to a more productive conversation overall. The next one is modeling respectful behavior. And as difficult as it might be, maintain respect to your child in your own responses, right? You don't have to match the energy. You don't have to match the negativity, because this sets the tone for how you expect to be treated. Show them how you want to be treated. By showing patience and empathy and staying calm, which I know is hard sometimes, but you model that type of behavior that you hope to see in return. And at the same time, for some of you who have tried that and it's still not working, sometimes that's when you have to take that step back, give some space to cool down for your child and take that temporary break from interactions. I know a lot of the moms that I work with are, unfortunately, they have to block their child once in a while on the phone because they're getting nasty, very disrespectful texts. That's not solving any problems. So these moms are doing what they need to do for short periods of time. The next one is be consistent, because consistency is going to also reinforce these personal limits that you've set. So apply the same rules and consequences every time something arises, because then it prevents manipulation, really. So if you're staying on the same track, we want to shift that conversation always from conflict to resolution. You might not be at the place where your child is willing to actually have these conversations, but this is good tools for later. We want to provide an opportunity to have this two-way conversation to address whatever needs to be improved in the relationship. Not all of your kids are there right now, and that's okay. You save this for later because these are great tools when you are starting to communicate with them and if you are feeling that disrespect. Remember, it's a two-way street, and I believe that we need to not match their energy. That's my biggest takeaway. Don't match the energy. Don't match the negativity, because that just becomes a vicious cycle that you don't need to be on. So I hope that helps. God bless, and I'll see you in the next video.